What's the word, YouTube? You know what it is. It's your boy Big Will. Back with another episode of Life After Prison TV. Let's just get into this one right here, man. Before we start, let's have a rest in peace for this young lady that died, man. Prayers go out to her and her family, to her children. Little children. She's got an 11-month-old and a 3-year-old baby. They lost their mother to reckless gun violence. You know, it's terrible. It's terrible. So let's give prayers to that woman and their family, what they're going through. It's a tragic story and just reckless what's going on nowadays. Let's get into it and let's hear what they have to say. Hey, before we get started, you know what to do. Hit that like and subscribe button. It's free. It helps out the channel. Let's go. Let's hear this one. I woke up this morning and had the report, and this is crazy, man.
All right, so we're here this morning to talk about a homicide that happened here in Largo on Christmas Eve, December 24th, at about 1:45 p.m.
This is Christmas Eve. This is supposed to be a time of year where everything is joyful and happy. You know, it's every year on Christmas now, this family's gonna have to endure the heartbreak of a sister who has been taken too soon by her brother, 14 years old. He's going to spend the rest of his life in prison. So just think what the family has to go through every year on the holidays. A joyous time of year. Her children are going to grow up knowing that their mother was taken on Christmas Eve. So every year their Christmas is going to be ruined. Every year for the rest of their lives. Let's listen.
The victim in the homicide is Abrielle Baldwin, a 23-year-old black female. Her date of birth is May 5th of 2000. She went by the name of Bree and was a mom to two boys, a 6-year-old and an 11-month-old. The incident happened at 2357 22nd Avenue Southwest in Largo. We've arrested two people, and I'll explain the incident as to what happened. The first person that was arrested is DeMarcus Coley. He's a 14-year-old black male. Date of birth is May 2nd, 2009. And he's been charged with first-degree murder, child abuse, and being a delinquent in possession of a firearm. The second is Darkus Coley. He's a 15-year-old black male. Date of birth is January 31st, 2008. And his charges are attempted first-degree murder and tampering with physical evidence. And both of them are in the photographs to my left, to your right, and they're brothers. So this is what happened. On Christmas Eve, as I said, December 24th, Abrielle Baldwin, her 10-month-old son, her 6-year-old son, her 14-year-old brother DeMarcus, her 15-year-old brother Darkus, and their mother, Joyce Birch, who's a black female with a date of birth of June 25th, 1984, went Christmas shopping at a store here in Largo. While they're shopping, 15-year-old Darkus was jealous that their mother, Joyce, was getting 14-year-old DeMarcus more gifts than he was receiving. So they had this family spat about who was getting what and what money was being spent on who, and they're having this big thing going on in the store, and they're all arguing with each other. They left the store and headed to their grandmother's house, which is where the incident happened, at 2357 22nd Avenue Southwest in Largo. They all piled into one car and they were heading over to her house. The Coleys, along with Joyce Birch, lived at 608 Westminster Boulevard in Oldsmar. They were going to their grandmother's house because she was going to watch Bree's 6-year-old and 11-month-old baby when she went to work. So they got there to this house on 22nd Avenue Southwest at about 1:45 p.m. on Sunday. Darkus, who's the 15-year-old, entered the home and went into the kitchen with his grandmother. DeMarcus, the 14-year-old, stood in the doorway because, again, they're all arguing. And they're having this big spat about what happened while shopping and who's getting what and who didn't get what for Christmas. So this is just normal what people do when they have these young kids getting spats like this. And, of course, I'm saying this sarcastically because he's all mad at his brother about what his brother was getting and is not getting. So he stood in the doorway, and he took out his .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun, and he pointed it at Darkus and told him he was going to shoot him in the head.
Now, he said, I'm saying this sarcastically. But in today's times, is this sarcastic? No. That's the problem with today's society. It's not sarcastic. It's real. It's true. This is everyday, normal living nowadays. All these kids have guns prematurely in their mind. They ain't old enough to even understand what life's going on, right? But they think, I'm old enough to carry a gun. I'm a real G. I'm a real gangster, right? I got a gun. So that makes you a man, right? So the first thing you do is you start arguing over Christmas gifts. Not somebody that hurt you or hurt your family or threatened your family or an enemy for any sort. But this is a family argument, chaos that probably happens every day in this house. If it's happening on Christmas Eve over Christmas gifts, that's the greed. That's the greed in people. You're gonna pull out a .40 caliber gun and threaten to end your brother's life over a Christmas gift that your mother was buying him. So this is the tragedy that this is everyday life, right?
So you got the 14-year-old who's mad at the 15-year-old because mom's not buying equal amounts of gifts. They get to grandma's house and he takes out his gun and tells him he's going to shoot him in the head. So DeMarcus tries to get Darkus to fight. Darkus said he didn't want to fight and told him to get out of the house, and he didn't want anything to do with him. One of the boy's uncles was present in the home, and he separated them by moving DeMarcus out of the house and moving him out into the driveway area. This is the house here to my right, again to your left, and that's the doorway he was standing into, and that's the driveway area that he moved him out to where this happened. And so DeMarcus left the doorway. Darkus is still in the house in the kitchen. DeMarcus was standing by a parked vehicle in the driveway when Abrielle told DeMarcus, quote, "You all need to leave that stuff alone. Why are you trying to start it? It's Christmas." And at that point, Abrielle was in the driveway and she was carrying her 10-month-old baby in a carrier in her hand. DeMarcus then began arguing with Abrielle and used some very, very derogatory language that I won't repeat at all kinds of profanity. He was calling her a whore and all kinds of other stuff, and stated that he was going to shoot her and that he was going to, quote, shoot the baby too.
So your sister tries to de-escalate the situation, and you say, well, I'm going to shoot you and your little baby. Innocent little baby. You're threatening the life of an innocent little baby that doesn't even know what anybody's saying or arguing about. And this is the mentality of these kids. But yet they're old enough to carry a gun. Come on.
DeMarcus then moved toward Abrielle and shot her in the chest with a .40 caliber semi-automatic handgun, again, while she's carrying the baby.
All for saying It's Christmas. Let's stop all this bullshit. Stop this fighting. It's Christmas. These guys need to end that. So he shoots his 23-year-old sister. Probably jealous of her because the mother was close to her, and probably bought her and the grandkids more gifts than he got.
Gabrielle fell to the ground, so did the baby. The baby wasn't hurt because the baby was in a carrier. So when DeMarcus falls to the ground, Darkus comes out of the house. And again, Darkus is 15, and he takes out his .45 caliber semi-automatic handgun because, again, I'll say this sarcastically, just normal that all these kids, that's what you do, right? You just carry handguns. When you get in a spat with your sibling, you take out your guns and you have a gun battle.
Again, is it sarcastically? No, it's not. He's saying it sarcastically, but he means it wholeheartedly. This is everyday living nowadays. Brothers fighting and arguing and threatening each other with guns for Christmas gifts. Come on, man. Come on, man.
So he takes out his gun and tells DeMarcus, so Darkus tells DeMarcus, quote, "You shot my MF sister," and then Darkus shot DeMarcus one time in the stomach. So DeMarcus falls to the ground, and when Darkus shot DeMarcus, DeMarcus was unarmed, and there's about an 8-second gap between the time that DeMarcus shot Bree and then Darkus comes out and shoots DeMarcus, and when he shot him, he no longer had possession of the gun.
So that's what they think, right? They think the 14-year-old brother shoots the sister and then drops his gun. I'm sure he still had it. The older brother just came out, and when he shot the younger brother, he dropped it because he got shot. That would be my best guesstimate of it. The people are going to say he was unarmed at that point once he shot his sister. Oh, he realized what he did, and he was sorry, so he dropped his gun, and he started apologizing. Is when the older brother came out and didn't realize what was going on and then shot him. No. This 14-year-old kid shot his sister. They're all already aggressive and anxious, and they're all yelling and screaming and swearing back and forth at each other, and she told him, just end that stuff, and he mind your business, you whore, and whatever else he called her. Shoots her. Why wouldn't he be still armed? In 8 seconds. What made him think in 8 seconds, oh, I did something wrong, let me get rid of this gun? He just didn't know the brother was coming out, and the brother shot him right away. Come out, hears a gunshot, swears, sees him, shoots us.
Darkus, the 15-year-old, then ran, threw his gun in a nearby yard, fled to a relative's house up in Clearwater, where we subsequently arrested him. Unfortunately, Gabrielle Baldwin was transported to Largo Medical Center Hospital here in Largo with a single gunshot wound to her chest, and she was pronounced dead at the hospital. Basically, the round went in through her left arm into her chest area, went across, went into both lungs, all kinds of internal bleeding. She bled out, and it popped both lungs. She couldn't breathe. DeMarcus was transported to a hospital where he underwent surgery. He's in custody, remains in the hospital, is in stable condition, and upon release, he'll be transferred to the custody of the Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. The Pinellas Pasco State Attorney's Office is going to review the case and decide whether to charge DeMarcus as an adult with the first-degree murder of his sister. Darkus, again, the 15-year-old, made self-harm statements after we picked him up at the location where he was in Clearwater, and he is right now in a secure mental health facility, and he'll be charged.
Kind of smart what he did, but at the same time, cowardly. Oh, my sister's dead. I shot my brother. I'm going to kill myself. Well, let's put him in a crazy house and put him in a turtle suit and hold him until we see what's going on, right?
We charged with attempted first-degree murder and tampering with evidence and transported to the Pinellas Juvenile Assessment Center upon his release from the mental health facility.
So they'll both be charged as adults. One will go to jail for the rest of his life. The other one will go to jail for 20 years for attempted murder on his brother. They'll see each other in the jail systems. They'll probably both join different gangs if they don't come together and say, yeah, F that girl, this sister. You know, because they got to survive in jail, so they'll join the same gang, and, you know, this is the rest of their life for Christmas Eve. A 14 and a 15-year-old kid ripped from their family. Not ripped. I mean, they did it themselves. But tragically, a 23-year-old young mother with 2 children. She got a 6-year-old, so she was 17 when she had her child. You know, the dysfunction in today's...
The .40 caliber handgun that DeMarcus used to shoot his sister was recovered at the scene, and the .45 caliber handgun that Darkus used to shoot DeMarcus has not been recovered. Again, when he ran, he tossed it in the backyard. We've searched that area out there. We can't find it. And the unfortunate reality is probably going to be used in the next crime, because somebody probably picked it up, and there are all kinds of people over there. And as I'm going to talk about here in about 1 second, there's way too many guns out there on the street, way too many crime guns out there, way too many stolen guns. Everybody's got a gun these days. And the sad part is that thing's going to be used in another crime because somebody picked it up.
Everybody except me. Everybody's got guns. And they don't use them for protection. They use them carelessly to kill people. Over Christmas gifts. And somebody found this gun that he threw in the yard. Instead of turning it to the police, someone in that neighborhood, oh, I got a nice 40 cal now. Look, it's got bullets. Hey, is it clean? Yeah, he shot his brother. It's alright. He didn't die, though. Don't worry about it. So the next incident that it's used in, I'll get connected back to this one. It's.
As you can see behind me in the photograph, DeMarcus, again the 14-year-old, recently posted a photo to Snapchat pointing the gun that he used to kill his sister at the camera. So this is within the last couple days, and this is a Snapchat photo. That's DeMarcus pointing that gun, which is this gun, which we recovered there at the scene, which is the gun that he used to kill his sister. So there's the Snapchat photo, and there's the gun that he used to kill his sister. According to many people that we interviewed out there, all kinds of people, family members, young, old, everybody across the board, is that both DeMarcus and Darkus carried guns all the time. They routinely carried firearms on them. People knew it, that's what they did, and a lot of it, they claim, is because of recent ongoings in the Ridgecrest Baskins area where they were accosted. And we've had a number of incidents I'll talk about in a second over there in the last couple of months.
Because they were accosted. So they're carrying guns for protection, right?
But again, these young kids, 14, 15 years old, routinely carry firearms. And this is what happens when you got young delinquents that carry guns. They get upset, they don't know how to handle stuff, so they just take out their guns and start shooting each other, and one of them kills his sister, who's a mom to a 10-month or 11-month-old baby and a 6-year-old boy. So how are they getting these guns? Well, it's real easy. They're getting them because they're either buying them on the street cheap, and they're all stolen guns, and for these two guys, they're getting them because they're stealing them from unlocked cars. They're out in the middle of the night doing car burglaries. Both DeMarcus and Darkus were arrested for committing numerous car burglaries in Oldsmar, where they live on Westminster Avenue, back in May of this year.
Back in May, after the other one turned 14 years old. He's out stealing cars for his birthday. That's his gift. That's his birthday present. Let's go break into cars.
DeMarcus, the 14-year-old, has arrests dating back to when he was 12 years old. Think about this. He has arrests dating back to when he was 12. He's only 14 now, okay? But 2 years ago, he has arrests for being a minor in possession of a gun, grand theft auto burglaries, loitering and prowling, disorderly conduct, battery on a school employee, and battery on a law enforcement officer. He's only 14.
So I can't judge him or knock him, right? Because I grew up in the projects, right? And at 14, 15 years old, I was doing the same things, right? Breaking into cars, stealing cars, carrying guns, shooting at people. But I was immature, right? And I wasn't thinking about life or the things that I was doing, you know? So I'm not knocking the kids by any means. I'm simply stating the facts that this is the society that we live in. There's not enough programs to help these kids, these inner youth kids, these inner city kids, the youth. Nowadays, there's nothing for kids to do. The city where I live, there's nothing for these kids to do. There's nowhere. We have the YMCA or the Boys Club. You go to any park or neighborhood, and the basketball hoops are broken, and yeah, it's the kids that are doing it, but it's their outlet. They don't know how to express themselves. So what do when they're playing basketball in the park? They're destroying things. They're breaking things. It's the broken household. There's no fathers in the house. These fathers are out with stepchildren, right? You know, you got your own kids at home, but you're out bringing the stepkid to you know, Disneyland or wherever you're bringing them, you know, while your kid is home, you know, and the father will get into another relationship and have a kid, so he'll raise that kid while his other two kids are home with a stepfather that wants nothing to do with them. All he wants to do with the mother and the next kid that they have together, and it's a cycle, you know, and it. Where does it end? Where do we draw the line? As people, as society, where do we draw the line? And you can't blame the kids. You can't blame the kids. You can't. They know right and wrong, but they don't understand right and wrong. They don't understand. They know if I shoot this person, I'm going to be in trouble. But they don't fully understand it. Their brain is not mature enough to assess the situation that's going on and think about, if I shoot this person, what's going to happen. They don't think. It just happens, you know? And then you get to the point where in life where, so you don't carry the gun and you don't shoot at your enemy, and then your neighborhood and your friends, oh, he's a coward, he's scared, he don't like guns, he don't know how to fight, and he wants to keep peace, and he's a good kid. So people get bullied and they get picked on, these kids, and they don't want that, right? So they do things and act against their own better judgment. But this is where it leads to. Your sister dying.
Darkus was also arrested in May for committing numerous auto burglaries. Many of those cases are still pending. In the dispositions with DeMarcus previously is that, what's he get? Probation. The problem is you got way too many kids out there with way too many guns, and they're getting them because they're buying them on the street cheap, $50 for a gun, whatever, breaking into cars, and they're stealing the guns out of the unlocked cars. And I've talked about this Long time, and those of you who have been around here for a while remember going back now to December of 2014. Charlie Condek, Tarpon Springs police officer, shot and killed. Where did the gun come from that killed Officer Condek? An unlocked car burglary, because people leave their guns in their cars. And these punks, these thugs, go out and break into the cars, they take the guns, and they use them for crime, and they kill people. Like they killed Charlie Condek, and like DeMarcus Coley killed his sister.
Why would you keep a gun in your car? Why would you leave a gun in your car? So the only people who are leaving guns in cars are them same kind of people like these children who have them illegally, right? And they drive around them in their car because it always just stays underneath the seat, right? When you're out and you need it to shoot at in opposition, or if you say you need to defend yourself. But any respectable, responsible gun owner who is licensed to carry takes his gun and locks it up at night so his children don't get it and kill somebody or themselves. So it's locked up and it's safe, so nobody does steal it. Now, does that stuff happen? Yeah, people break into houses and they find them, but to leave them in a car, especially in neighborhoods and areas where people break into cars, and that's what the teenagers do. They break into cars and steal stuff. You leave your gun out there. Come on, man. That you can't blame on the kids. That is irresponsible adult owners. But that also comes from, like I said, people, and I want to say men, because it's mostly men, 99% of men. And statistically, I don't know, I'm just saying it myself, but it's usually not women who carry a gun and leave it underneath their seat in the car for someone to break in and get it. It's men who have had them since they were 15, 16, and they get their license 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, 25, and they carry this gun around because that's the life they're into still. Acting like a young thug, punk, irresponsible, and you leave your gun in the car for someone to break in, steal it, to kill their sister. Come on.
So just in the last 30 days alone, just in our system, and this doesn't include St. Pete Police Department, doesn't include Largo Police Department, doesn't include Pinellas Park Police Department, just in our system alone, and this is what was reported, and they're not all reported because people don't report them all. Just in our system alone in the last 30 days, we've taken reports where 17 guns have been stolen from unlocked cars.
17 guns from unlocked cars.
You know, I get, some people say, look, I can do what I want. I can leave my cars unlocked. I can leave my gun in my car. You know, it's not the responsible thing to do, but they do it. And the problem is the thugs that are stealing them, and I agree with that. The problem is, don't steal people's stuff. But the reality is that you got punks like this out there, criminals out there like this that are doing it and going to do it, and then they're going to go and hurt people. And people can't leave their car doors unlocked and leave their guns in their cars. It's got to stop.
Not even unlocked.
See, you couple that with, since September, just in the Ridgecrest Baskins area alone, which is where this happened, a couple miles to the west of here, we've had 13 shootings or incidents involving guns in that area. And according to everybody, everybody's carrying guns over there. All these kids are carrying guns. And again, they're getting them from where I just said. So this proliferation of guns on the streets and guns in this area and guns in the hands of these kids, this is the worst I've ever seen it. I don't think we've ever seen it this bad. I really think
And I say it, right? I said, oh, it's mostly people, right? It's not only the people who have, used guns as teenagers and whatnot. So I was 16 years old, and, being a young thug punk, stealing cars like we did. I stole one car, my friend stole another car. We met up later, we would clean them out, right? I told you I did the same things, right? The car that my friend stole, it was a environmental police officer's car. And in his vehicle, we found his gun and his tactical belt and all his equipment. So he would get off of work and just leave that in his car because he's too lazy to go home and lock it up responsibly. So young punks like us were driving around and we found it. Breaking into cars, stealing things, we found it.
I think that we need tougher laws to deal with these kids. As you can see with their criminal histories, they are not getting the consequences that they should get, that keep them from doing it again and again and again, or deterring others from doing it again and again and again. And I really hope the Florida legislature in the upcoming legislative session will get serious about it and will pass legislation that will hold these kids accountable and help us to slow this down. Because if we don't slow it down, we got a big problem.
So we're gonna end it there, but tragic situation. These two brothers. Again, it is worse than it's ever been. And it goes to the generations before that glorify this type of things for these kids nowadays. But us as parents who live that life, you gotta break the cycle and change your children. Change your children before it's too late. This young lady was 23 years old, tragically killed by her own sibling on Christmas Eve over gifts that had nothing to do with her. The situation had nothing to do with her. The mother was simply buying the brother some gifts, and all this escalated. And two brothers that carry guns, that were known to carry guns, 14 and 15 years old, that they didn't just start. This kid was 12 years old when he first got charged with minor in possession of a gun. And that's when he got caught. That's the first time he got caught. Probably wasn't the first time he started carrying them. And they're bringing them to schools and basketball games and football parties, and they're smoking weed, and one kid, and our children are dying. They're killing each other. They say black on black crime is 7 to 8 times higher than white on black crime. And this is a black on black crime where one brother killed his sister and then another brother shot the other brother. And that's how you treat your family, with love and respect. It's by killing and shooting them. I don't know. Let me know what you all think in the comments. It's your boy Big Will. Life After Prison TV. Respect and prayers go out to the family. Rest in peace to this young lady, 23 years old. Oh my God. My daughter's about to turn 21. Same age. It's horrible. and she has little children and never going to see their mother again. This little 10-month-old baby's looking for its mother. Looking for its mother. To never find her again. Let me know what y'all think. Hey, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We'll see you all on the next one. It's your boy Big Will, Life After Prison TV. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.